Let me tell you about the flip that almost flipped us. Our last fix and flip project. Wow. We projected it would take us 6 months to complete. It took us 14 months. We budgeted $128,000 total for renovations. We spent over $160,000. We thought we'd walk away. We thought we'd walk away with $100,000 in net profit after paying back our investors. But let me tell you what really happened. We got a $140,000 deposit at the closing. And our investors made out real sweet, as they should. They took a chance on us. But me and my business partner, Sean, we gave away all of our future profits just to finish the job and not get foreclosed on. Because then our investors would have lost their money. And we couldn't have that. So when the dust settled, me and Sean didn't get that $100,000 that we projected. We walked away with 10 grand. And that had to be split between the two of us. You heard me right. 5,000 each. 14 months of work, blood, sweat, and tears, second guessing, and we basically made enough to buy a couple bikes and some pizzas. But here's what I want you to catch. That moment didn't break us. It built us because it forced us to sit down and ask some hard questions. Like, what went wrong? Where were the blind spots? Why did we keep borrowing instead of pivoting? Why didn't we have better systems in place? See, the blessing was hidden inside the burden. That loss forced us to upgrade our business model. Now we have standard operating procedures. We've got checks and balances. We've got emergency reserves. We've got systems that don't let emotions drive the bus. And it keeps us out of trouble by mitigating our risk better. What felt like a failure became the blueprint for our next breakthrough. So here's the truth behind that story. Setbacks are setups for a step up if you're willing to reframe them as learning opportunities towards improvement, from setback to feedback. You're going to have setbacks. That's not a question. That's a guarantee. The question is, what are you going to do with that information? Because all it is just data, right? Most people treat failure like a dead end, but failure is just feedback. It's life's way of saying, hey, not like that. Try it a different way. And to give you a little mindset shift, what helped me was a quote from Norman Vincent Peale. How you think when it looks like you lost determines how long it'll be before you win. So then I asked, well, then is it really losing? Because for me, I don't believe in losing. I either win or I learn a lesson. That's it. Those are the only two options. There's no such thing as failure unless you stop trying. There's no such thing as wasted time if you use it to reflect. And there's no such thing as good or bad. It's just all in your perspective of how you look at it. How you think when it looks like you lost determines how long it'll be before you win. Did you know that Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times trying to invent the light bulb? And when they asked him how it felt to fail 1,000 times, he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work. So you see the difference. See, most people would have quit after failure number 5. Edison kept going until he ran out of ways it didn't work, and boom, success. That's the formula. Every no gets you closer to the yes. Every wrong answer teaches you something about the right one. Success and failure aren't enemies. They're twins. They're two sides of the same coin, and you can't have one without the other. Just like you can't have up without down. You can't have hot without cold. You can't have left without right. You can't have success without failure. So this is what I started doing. And here's a tool I want to put in your hands today. When something doesn't go right, don't just react. Reflect on it. And then ask yourself these 3 questions. What happened? Why did it happen? And what can I do differently next time? And I'm going to give you a few real life examples. Say you give a presentation at work and it falls flat. People seem bored. You didn't connect. Instead of beating yourself up, review the footage. Even if it's just mentally, if it's just in your mind, ask, did I prepare enough? Was I clear on my message? Did I engage my audience? Or you're on a job interview and don't get the offer. Was it my energy? Did I do enough research? Did I answer with confidence or with doubt? Maybe if it's a conversation with your spouse or your partner that turned into an argument. Instead of blaming or defending, reflect. Was I listening or just waiting to talk? Was I reacting from emotion or responding with intention? So you see the pattern. Reflection turns mistakes into models. Failures become formulas. Setbacks become feedback. Take our situation with the fix and flip. We had to go back and look at what happened. It forced us to look at our business model. Why did we go over budget? Why did it take us more than twice as long to complete the project? The answers were the cost of money, paying too much for the money that we borrowed. The project was bigger in scope than we estimated for. Now, we've put systems in place, standard operating procedures. We no longer use hard money lenders. We only use our private investors. We created a stream of income in between the flips to give us some liquidity and reserves, so we don't get stuck in the middle and have to go borrow. If it's not a light rehab, we just automatically estimate it as a full gut. The bottom line is this: if you're not learning from your L's, you're just wasting them. But if you treat them like data, like feedback, like stepping stones, you grow faster, you bounce back stronger, and eventually you win bigger. So the next time life punches you in the gut, don't cry about it. Just get curious. Don't ask, why me? Ask, what's the lesson? Because the people who go the farthest aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who learn how to turn failure into fuel. From setback to feedback to comeback. Now you're ready to take that next step. Let's go.